This is the UFC fighters as bosses tier list. Now, this list isn't just going to be current UFC fighters, but more so like a mixture of current and past UFC fighters. A lot of these guys you'll recognize, probably all of them you'll recognize, let's be honest, because even like a casual would know who most of these guys are. So, yeah, let's get into it. Starting with the notorious one, Conor McGregor. So, as a work boss, I don't know, man. I don't know. It might be a love hate with this guy. Cause like one day he might come in and, be like, hey, let's go to the bar, mate. I can't do a very good Connor accent. And you'd be like, I don't know, Connor. I mean, I've got a lot on my plate today. He'd be like, bollocks, we're going to the bar now. And he'd take you to the bar, but you'd get into the bar, he'd purchase some like suite inside the bar or up on the second level, and there'd be some secret back room where he would drink, and he'd be like, this is cool. You guys would be enjoying some nice proper 12. Next thing you know, Connor's laying out lines of coke on the table, right? And you'd be like, what the hell is going on? Then, he might come in a good mood one day, want to go out for drinks and hang out. And I don't know, though. I don't think you could even party with this guy at this point. Like, I would be edgy. Once this guy gets a few drinks in him, I would be on edge. I would probably be wanting to get the hell away from this guy. I don't think this is a guy you can drink with and hang out with. It's going to be laid back, chill. You can have a good time, right? Then the next day, he probably comes over. He's probably fiending for more coke, hungover. Um, you'd try to ask him a question. You'd be confused on something, and he'd be like, "Shut your fucking mouth." And then you'd get the backhand, or you'd get that right hand of death from him. So, dude, I gotta put Connor in the D tier. I think he would be a horrible work boss. Like, I think at first it might seem innocent and fun, like when he's wanting to cut out early for drinks, or just skip work for the entire day for drinks. But once he started laying out lines of coke and getting all crazy, he'd probably be trying to fight you. He'd be trying to fight you at some point. He would just randomly, he's one of those guys, you could just tell he'd be trying to fight you. D tier for Conor McGregor. Joe Pyfer. Woo! Dude, D tier, right off the bat. Right off the bat. Like, dude, this guy would probably be a nightmare to have as boss. He's got absolute roid rage. People can criticize him online, and this guy, like, loses his shit. I swear to God, if you're a random person and you comment you're a pussy on his Twitter or his Instagram, please believe that dude's DMing you death threats. So, dude, he'd be that kind of guy, like, you'd call in sick. You'd be, like, on your deathbed. You could be throwing up, have COVID at the same time, have some weird-ass lung infection, and he'd be like, I don't care. Get your fucking ass in here. Quit making excuses. Or he'd just give you an ungodly amount of work to get done in, like, a short amount of time, and then you wouldn't get it done, and he'd be up in your face, poking you in the chest, grabbing you by the shirt, lifting you off your feet, probably like take a swing at you. So Joe Pyfer would be an absolute awful work boss. Sugar Sean O'Malley. I feel like Sugar would be all right. I feel like he'd be all right. I feel like he'd be a pretty good boss. I feel like he'd be pretty chill. He'd be like, hey, guys, I know we've only been at this for like 30 minutes. Let's go take a weed break out back. You'd go out, one joint would turn into 2, 3, 4. Pretty soon he'd be like, hey, let's just get out of here, man. Let's go to the club or something. He'd be totally chill. Like, he wouldn't give a fuck. Like, you would do like 1, 2 hours of work and then you would dip out. So, I'll probably put Sean in the B tier, though, to be honest, because, like, while it would be fun, he'd be like the most Jesus Christ, the most laid back boss ever. Like, I think eventually, like, you would get tired of just smoking weed at work every day. Like, because, like, as people, we need purpose, right? Like, we need to feel like we're actually contributing to society. Like, we're actually getting shit done. Like, we're a valued member of a team, right? Like, we're an asset. So, I think it would get old after a while. After a few months of it, like, you'd be telling all your family and friends, like, this is the best job ever. After a few months, you'd be like, dude, I've got to get out of here. All we do is smoke weed. Like, I'm high all day. I can barely get home. You know, all Sean wants to do is smoke. We don't ever get any work done. I've gained 27 pounds because all I do is smoke and eat potato chips in the break room. So I'm going to put him in the B tier, you know. It wouldn't be as bad and on edge as like having Joe Pyfer or Connor, but still, it'd be like, eventually it'd get old. Chael Sonnen, American Gangster. Ah, man, I don't know. I feel like it would start out all right. You know, you'd be like captivated by his ability to story tell because he can tell a good story. But I feel like after a while, like you would get real sick and tired of his shit because like you could ask a question about something you don't know, go try to figure something out, try to like get some feedback on something, and you would just you could ask him a question as simple as like, dude, how do I like convert this document to a PDF? And I swear to God, you're gonna get a 10-minute story that's not gonna probably answer your question, and then you're gonna be left so damn confused at the end of it. You're gonna be like, what the hell? Pretty soon you're gonna stop asking him for help. Like anytime he comes around, you're gonna like make an excuse to run to the bathroom because like, dude, you're never gonna get any growth or feedback from Chael. It's always gonna be this long-winded like story for every little fucking thing you need help with. So I'll put Chael in the C tier. I don't feel like it'd be like super uncomfortable. You just kind of more so be annoyed with Chael as like a supervisor. Derek Lewis. See, this is a tricky one. Like, I feel like certain days he would show up, he'd be cool as hell, laid back, like you wouldn't get all your work done. Maybe you had a deadline, a project deadline or something, and he'd be like, hey, don't worry, don't trip, man. Don't trip. It's all good. And then, like, I don't know, man. I feel like he just seems like sometimes he has that ability to be an asshole. I don't know what it is about Derek Lewis, but I think sometimes he's like in asshole mode. So I feel like it'd be chill for the most part. Like 90% of the time, it's probably going to be pretty chill with this guy. But then eventually, like, I feel like you might get him on his one bad day where he's like, you know, you go to ask him a question, ask him for help with something, and he's just like, man, shut the fuck up. Get the hell out of here. I can't do a big black man voice, okay? I'm a small white guy. But he'd be like, man, get the fuck out of here. I don't need this. So I'm going to put him... Oh, man. I'll put Derek Lewis. I put him A tier, dude. I feel like for the most part, he'd be pretty good. You know, it'd just be like that one day out of like a calendar like month or like year that you would get him on his bad day. Ilya Toptoro. Dude, Ilya's D tier. Ilya's 100% D tier. Like, dude, like this guy would just be like you would ask this guy for help or something, and he'd be like he'd never get any work done. He would just pass all of his work to like all his employees, like as well as expecting you to handle your full-time duties at the job. He would just pass it to you, and he'd be like, Ilya, I can't, dude, I don't have time to do this. There's only 8 hours in the day. I can't get all this done. You're like piling like two people's jobs into one for me here. Like, and he'd be like, shut the fuck up. I knock you the fuck out. I'm going to knock you the fuck out. Shut the fuck up. And I think it'd be a nightmare to have this guy as a boss, dude. Like, you'd wonder why he passed all this work onto you and what he could possibly do that's so much more important. And you'd like go into his office and he'd be like shadow boxing. He'd be shadow boxing. He'd be hitting the bag. You know, he'd be hitting the bag, doing his combos, hitting some takedowns on a dummy. You know, hitting some Muay Thai elbows. And if he saw you, he'd be like, did I tell you you could fucking come in here? Don't ever come in here again. Unless I tell you to. Get the fuck out of here. I sound like Canelo, man. Get the fuck out of here, man. Get the fuck out of here. So he'd be a nightmare. End of story. Marab Dvalishvili. Machine. Dude, Marab's S tier. Come on now. You can't believe that Marab would not be an S tier boss. Now, you asked me this like a year ago, I'd say I might put him in the B tier because I feel like he had a bit of a short fuse. Like last year, I felt like you could say something to him and like pissed him off. Well, as long as you're not talking shit to this guy, and this was a year ago, as long as you weren't talking shit to him, he's the nicest dude ever. Now he seems a lot more laid back, dude. Like, I don't know, man. I feel like he's just gaining more confidence since he's beat Umar. He beat Sean. Like, he's just so much more laid back. Like, it's almost like he knew Umar was his toughest test, and once he got through that, he was like, I don't give a fuck anymore. I'm just gonna be a laid back, chill dude. So he'd be laid back, he'd be chill. I think he'd be super helpful, man. Like, he would invest time into the team. Anytime you needed help, he would sit down, he'd pull up a chair, he'd sit with you till you knew how to you knew the answer to something, you knew how to do it front to back, inside and out. You know, and he, like, you could call this guy anytime, he would help you out. If you needed some personal time, he'd be super cool about that. He'd probably even like pay you for it if you had no PTO. He would just kick you some cash, tell you to go take a few days off with the family, and how important it is to like recharge your battery. Like, dude, I think Murad would be an S tier boss to have. A year ago, I'd probably put him in the B tier just because he had a little bit of a short fuse. But even then, dude, it's like if you're not talking shit to this guy, he probably would have been the same dude. He would have been super nice to you, kind, helpful, great boss to have. Nate Diaz. Whew. Dude, Nate Diaz D tier. Dude, what a terrible boss that guy would be. Seriously. Like, you could be like walking down the hall to get a drink of water or run to the bathroom. And I swear to God, if this guy is walking and you like glance up at him once, this guy's like, the fuck you looking at, huh? So, Stockton, motherfucker. You want to jump up? Come on. You want to go? And you'd be like, dude, I just noticed you in the hallway. I looked up. I'm sorry, Nate. And he'd be doing his little Stockton flex, you know. Might even get Stockton slapped. So I feel like this guy, like, he'd be a little bit too gangster for the workplace, man. Like, you would like look at this dude wrong. You would even glance at this dude, and this dude would think that you were like trying to jump off, trying to get shit started, get it cracking. And he'd be all up in your face, man. He'd be flexing. It would just be a nightmare. Like, you would be walking on eggshells with this dude. Seriously. Like, 1 second he'd be trying to fight you. Next second, you wouldn't be able to find him. The whole team wouldn't be able to find him. He'd be, like, in a hidden location, like, you know, up inside some hidden room or something that no one ever goes into that's a storage room. And he'd be blazed off his ass. And he'd be like, Nate, we need your help, man. Like, we got, like, 15 customers lined up, and half the team's out at lunch. Dude, can we get some help? And he'd be like, the fuck? Fuck you. Shut the fuck up. It'd be a nightmare, dude. He'd be either hired to be trying to fight everybody. King Green. Bobby Green. Come on. I'm not going to call him King. That's some stupid shit. King Bobby Green. I'm going to put him C tier. Like, I feel like he'd have his moments where he'd be pretty cool. You know, you could smoke a joint with this guy, chill. You would just like randomly take the team and he'd just be like passing it around. And he'd be like, see, I told you guys I'm a good boss. All right? I told you. But like, I don't know, dude. He has that like side of him that's like kind of a dick, dude. Like, he's entertaining. He loves to talk shit. But, like, it's cool when it's, like, in the cage. Like, in the workplace, I don't know, man. Not so much. Like, I don't know. I feel like he'd be cool sometimes, and then other times, like, he would be a dick. Like, he would just be, like, condescending, be talking shit to people. He'd act like you weren't worth anything. So I'll put him in the C tier just because of that unknown. I thought about B tier, but we'll keep him in the C tier for now. Renato Money Moicano. Oof. This is a tricky one. Dude, I'm going to put him in B tier, though. I thought about A tier, even S tier, like, because he's a cool dude, man. He's an educated guy. He's funny. You know, he's a charismatic guy, but, like, I swear to God, I feel like he would be one of those guys that would just randomly, you'd fucking, like, be super busy. You'd have to go take a piss break. You'd be coming out of the restroom, and he would just, like, be standing there and he'd be like, let me tell you something. Hey, come here. Come here. You'd be like, okay. Next thing you know, he's like got his arm around you. He's got a fucking book on financial literacy and he's just reading it, you know. Next thing you know, you're just like 50 pages deep in this and he's like, "Let me ask you something, my brother. Have you started the building blocks for your children's futures? This America, the land of opportunity." You'd be like, "I don't know, I haven't really thought about it." You're like, "Why?" Next thing you know, you're in, you know, for another hour about him scolding you for not like setting up your kid's future financially and investing into stocks and certain things and cryptocurrencies. Like he'd always be trying to educate, and it would just get to the point where it'd be like, "Dude, shut the fuck up and let me get my work done, please." So I'm gonna put him in the B tier. He's a cool guy, but not A or S tier material. Anthony Smith. It's the same thing with Anthony Smith. Like I automatically think A tier. Dude, he's a super cool dude. He's a nice guy, super nice guy. But like, you know, he's a guy who would give you the shirt off his back, right? Blue collar. Everybody knows Anthony Smith's story. Blue collar guy, well spoken. I actually enjoyed him when he was on the Michael Bisping podcast. I thought he really made that podcast a lot better because I can't fucking stand listening to Michael Bisping yap. He annoys the shit out of me. And I thought he made that show. But that being said, with all those redeeming qualities, I can't get past this whole on paper shit. I can't do it, man. Like I can't do it. Like he'd be super nice. He'd be like helping everybody out. I'm gonna put him A tier, but the one thing keeping him from S tier is his whole on paper thing. Like he could be super nice all week long, super helpful with the team, like engaging, giving constant feedback, always there when you need him. You know, any issues he's there to help you solve. He's complimenting everybody, he's building everybody up, and then the next week you know he's like talking shit behind your back. Like he'll be talking with some coworkers in the break room, and you'll overhear him. He'll be like, "I don't know about that guy," you know, like. I mean, I honestly don't think he's very good at his job. Like, on paper, he looks good. On paper, he's the best we've ever had. But, like, I just don't think he's very good off paper. Like, he'd be talking all this shit. Like, you know, he'd call you in his office. He'd be like, "Hey, man, I don't like your production lately. I don't like your productivity. I don't like, dude, you got to step it up, man. Like, look, on paper, like, you're a monster. On paper. But like, I don't know, man. Like, I just don't think you're very good. Like, literally, you could be like outperforming everybody in the job, and he'll be like, I don't think he's very good. I honestly think he's a bit overrated. You know, on paper he's pretty good, but like in real time he's overrated. That's the one thing that I like can't get past. I can't move him into S tier because of that. All right, last but not least, Patty the Batty. Some of these are tricky, honestly. Some of these are tricky. I don't know. Patty's got to go pretty high up, dude. I feel like Patty's a good dude. I feel like he's another one of those dudes that give you the shirt off his back. Unless you're like his opponent, like he's gonna be pretty nice. Even like the last couple opponents, he doesn't really talk shit until they talk shit. Like with Tony Ferguson, he didn't say a fucking word disrespectful until Tony started chirping at him, and then he's like, "You little sausage, you little sausage." My accents are terrible. I gotta work on these. Honestly, dude, I'm gonna put Patty in the S tier. I honestly think he'd be a solid boss. Like, I think he'd give you the shirt off his back. He'd give you the time of day. He'd help you out. Um, you know, if you get on his bad side, if you're just a piece of shit employee, I think you're gonna have problems with this guy. Like, quickly. Like, I think if you're a piece of shit, if you say anything negative about him and that gets around and he gets wind of it, bro, he's stepping to you and he's calling you a little sausage and telling you he's gonna smack the head clean off you. Maybe that's Connor. But he'll be stepping to you. If you're a piece of shit employee, you're gonna have problems with this guy. But if you like show up, do the job to the best of your abilities, I think Patty would be an excellent boss to have. I really do. So that's the tier list. You know, I only did about 12 guys because I'm pretty sure I've been yapping for damn near 20 or so minutes at this point, and I just can't go through all these. I probably missed some guys. Let me know in the comments who I might have missed, who would have been an interesting one. Like, subscribe. We'll see you later.